Thank you for joining me for yet another unboxing video. And today we have a card game based on the novels by J.R.R. Tolkien. That's right, we're talking The Lord of the Rings, the card game. Adventure and Peril in Middle-earth for 1 to 2 players. A game by Nate French. The Lord of the Rings, the card game. Adventure in Middle-earth awaits. Yet it is not our part to master all the tides of the world, but to do what is in us for the succor of those years wherein we are set, uprooting the evil in the fields that we know, so that those who live after may have clean earth to till. What weather they shall have is not ours to rule. Gandalf from The Return of the King. Again, this game is brought to you by Fantasy Flight Games. In Lord of the Rings, the card game, players assemble a band of adventurers who are attempting to complete dangerous quests in Middle-earth. From the bright fields of the Shire to the dangerous paths of Mirkwood Forest to the mighty kingdoms of Gondor and Rohan, the memorable heroes of this beloved setting join together to resist the threat of the Dark Lord, Sauron. The Lord of the Rings, the card game, is a 1 or 2 player cooperative game in which players work together, competing against scenarios controlled by the game. With the addition of a second copy of this core set, up to 4 players can play cooperatively as a living card game. Additionally, cards and quests are available in regular expansions, allowing players to customize the contents of this set or to create their own original decks. So you got your table of contents of game contents right here. For more information about this card game, go to fantasyflightgames.com. It was released in 2010. There you go. You got some protected card sleeves. It tells you right there. And this game is for ages 14 plus for 1 to 2 players. It takes about 30 to 90 minutes to play. So let us crack this bad boy open and see what kind of goodness we have on the inside. Right off the bat, they were selling some things that other games that Fantasy Flight are currently selling, which was Gears of War, Twilight Imperium, Chaos in the Old World, Rune Wars, Talisman, Team Manager Blood Bowl, Rune Age, Arkham Horror, Game of Thrones, Ventura, Black Crusade, all kinds of Deadwood, of course Dust, which is now no longer in print, Tannhauser, which is no longer made, Death Angel, Black Gold, Call of Cthulhu card game, Invasion, Game of Thrones card games, and all other things that you could find. For more information, of course, it's the first edition of Mountains of Madness. So, of course, go to fantasyflightgames.com and you can get all the information that you ever would need to know about all the games that are currently available from Fantasy Flight Games. So, we'll put that over here for a second. Now we're going to talk about this right here. We have the rule book. And when we look at the rulebook, you have the rules of play. Okay, it gives you the introduction, the game overview. It's a living card game, explains to you what that means. We have component overview, you have threat trackers, you have cards, damage and progress tokens, your resource tokens, first player token. You've got gameplay overview, you got spirits, you got tactics, you got spheres of influence, the golden rule, leadership lore, all these different kinds of icons on the cards. You've got decks and card types, card anatomy, the quest deck, you got the card title, the scenario symbol, the sequence, the encounter information, scenario title, game text, set information, and quest points. The quest deck, the quest cards. Of course, right here, they give you examples of everything that you would need to know how to read the cards. Again, I'm not showing you how to play the game. I'm just unboxing to show you what the contents of the box are. The encounter deck, card anatomy key, the encounter deck, card title, engagement, cost, threat, strength, attack, strength, defense, strength, quest points, hit points, encounter set icon, traits, game text, shadow effect icon, card type, set information, scenario title. Then you got enemy cards, location cards, you got treachery cards, you got objective cards, you got some more cool artwork. Then you've got hero cards, you got unique cards, card anatomy key, hero cards, and the player deck. character cards, player decks, attachment cards, ally cards, event cards. For the first game, you need your leadership, your tactics, your spirit, and your lore. Playing the game, you shuffle the decks, place heroes, and set initial threat levels. Set up token bank. Figure out who the first player is, and then they're going to give you an example of all this stuff right here of how to set it all up on the table. And of course, over here, round sequence, you have 7 phases: resource, planning, quest, travel, encounter, combat, and refresh. Then it goes into an explanation of each of those phases: resource, planning, playing for neutral cards, playing for card abilities, examples of how to play different cards. Ready and exhausted, phase 3, the quest. Example of resolving a quest. Travel, encounter, example of making engagement checks. Combat, example of defending against enemy attacks. Attacking enemies, so if you want to, they first attack you, you want to attack back. However it's done, it's explained to you all right there and gives you examples of the cards and breaks it down for you right there, which is wonderful. Talking about hit points and damage, shadow cards, leaving play, refreshing, ending the game. The game ends in one of 2 ways, with the players either winning or losing as a team. The players are considered to have lost if all players are eliminated before the completion of the final stage of the scenario deck. The players are considered to have won if at least one player survives through the completion of the final stage of the scenario. And then player elimination. If all players are eliminated, the game ends in a loss for the players. Quest advancement, winning the game. Scoring, advanced concepts, card effects, concept effects, actions, responses, shadow effects, travel effects, and then we have our glossary in the back here of all the key terms. And then you have your scenarios. You have a passage through Mirkwood, journey down the Anvin, escape from Dol Guldur. And then we have more of those. Nope. You also have your tournament and deck building and customization, basic game, the expert game, and the credits for all the good people who brought you this card game, and the index where you can find all your questions that you might have, and it gives you an colorized version of your turn sequence and what you have to do, which is really cool. And back here you've got your scenario, and it gives you a way to track all your information, which you can easily photocopy, and so you don't have to write on the manual. So in total, we talk about how many pages of rules are there. This is a little lengthy, so it's 27 pages of rules for this card game. So there's your rule book. Here's your Fantasy Flight. It's the other stuff they're hawking here. So here we got. So we're going to start off here. Got your first player token. Very cool. Put that over here. So that's the first thing that popped out of the box for me. Take a look at this here. These are some other tokens here. These are your resource tokens. They are all the same. Nice thick cardboard. Very nice. And you get a baggie full of those. These are your progress markers. The footprints. They look to be halfling size. They're the ones who always walk around bare feet. So there you go. Got a bunch of those in the bag. Then your damage markers, of course. You're going to need those because you're going to get wounded throughout the game. Looks like Sauron's eye. Those are wound markers, or wound trackers, however you want to put it. one for each player. Also, you get these. Your track 9, 8, 7. Oh, I think I went the wrong way. 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it's the same thing on this side. So if you have 19, there it is. All right. 20, whatever you might have. So there you go. And you get 2 of these. Nothing on the back, but they work very, very well. So put those over here. Now these are your location cards. Whenever I get a game and I put them in little baggies, I like to make sure that I label up all my bags so I know exactly what I'm looking for when I pick up the game. So To the River, a journey along the Aduin. You approach the location of a small raft stashed on the riverbank. A fearsome hill troll emerges from behind a grouping of rocks and attacks. Revealed, search the encounter deck for one hill troll if one is not already in play and place it in the staging area. Shuffle the encounter deck. Players cannot defeat the stage while any hill troll cards are in play. The Necromancer's Tower, Flies and Spiders, Anduin Passage through the Caverns, A Fork in the Road, Out of the Dungeon, Ambush on the Shore, Bjorn's Path, and A Chosen Path. So you see either 3A, 2, and 1A, 1B. So there you go. Those are all your different locations. And on the other side, you have more. The River, the Necromancer's Tower, Flies and Spiders. So they're front and back, as you can tell. So you have some A's and B's as you're going through them. Those are all of your location cards. I believe those are the only cards that are both front and back. So those are your location cards. Push this up just a little bit so we get room to put our cards down because we got a lot of cards here. Then we have our hero cards, our hero deck. So a lot of these cards, again, all the icons, that's all explained to you. It's not a how-to play video. This is just an unboxing video. And here are all of your heroes. The artwork is stupendous. Again, they're all set up exactly the same way. You've got your powers here, your rankings, or your hit points, or value of the cards up here. And you have your hero's name right there. Legolas, Noble, Sylvan, Warrior, ranged response. After Legolas participates in an attack, destroys an enemy, place 2 progress tokens on the current quest. He is a hero. It tells you right there. So there's Legolas. You get Thalin. You get Gimli. You get Aragorn. Theored. You get Eowyn. You get Eleanor. Dunir. You get Denethor. Glorfindel. And you get Baravor. Baravor. There you go. I might have butchered their names, but I apologize. So there you go. Again, this is a core set. And with the core set, of course, you could always get expansions. I did not get any expansions when I purchased this, but because if I want to learn the game, I want to learn it without, adding too much stuff to it. And there's a kind of a steep learning curve to me. I'm not always doing a lot of card games, but every once in a while I'll come across one that seems interesting, and I got this one in closeout, so I was very happy that I picked it up, and I'll give it a whirl, see if I like it or not. There you go. So that's your hero deck. Then we have your encounter deck. And I like to keep everything separate. So these are things that you may have to face along the way. Different kinds of cards here. As you can tell, the backings are different and they change up. So as you can tell. So again, that's all explained to you in the rulebooks, what that all means. So I'll go through some of them. So you have a couple that look like this. You got the Shadow Key, Escape from Dol Guldur. It's an item. You got Dungeon Torch. You got Gandalf's Map. So these are different items that you can collect. What else we got here? So if you look at these cards real quick, they're all set up exactly the same. Title, Escape from Dol Guldur. That tells you where it's, which adventure they're from. And then bottom will tell you what it is. It's an item, guarded, restricted actions that it has, forced how it is, and what it's an objective. So you want to make sure you claim those. Then you have some location cards, as you see at the bottom there. You have Gladden Fields. You have Gladden Fields. It says Banks of the Audwin, Tower Gate, Endless Caverns, the East Bite, the Brown Lands, the Necromancer's Pass, the Forest Gate, Old Forest Road, Enchanted Stream, Necromancer's Pass, Mountains of Mirkwood. Again, these are all locations. Mountains of Mirkwood, Enchanted Stream, Mountains of Mirkwood, Great Forest Web. So those are all your location cards. So we got objective and we've got location that we went through so far. Then on the bottom here, you have treachery. All right, so we got treachery. So let's look at these cards here. You got treachery. Treacherous Fog. It says pursued by shadow. Evil Storm. Massing at Night. Iron Shackles. Under the Shadow. Despair. Driven by Shadow. Caught in a Web. The Necromancer's Reach. Caught in a Web again. Eyes of the Forest. And the Necromancer's Reach. So let's take a look at that card real quick. Again, it has a value up top there. Tells you what it's a bad guy. Then when revealed, deal 1 damage to each exhausted character. There was an eye in the Dark Tower that did not sleep. He knew that it had become aware of his gaze. A fierce, eager will was there. The Fellowship of the Ring. And that's treachery. These are all of your treachery cards. Again, they're hard to tell them apart because all the fronts are exactly the same, but you have to read the bottom. It sets you up exactly where you need to be. And now we're moving on to your enemies. This is your enemy deck. So these are people you'll be fighting. Dol Guldur Beastmaster. He's an orc. Eastern Crows. Misty Mountain Goblins. Cavern Guardian. Nazgul of Dol Guldur. Dungeon Jailer. Wargs. Marsh Adder. Goblin Sniper. Hill Troll. Wolf Rider. Forest Spider. Black Forest Bats. Dol Guldur Orc. East Bite Patrol. Dol Guldur Orcs again. Chieftain Uftak. Forest Spider. Things you're going to fight. There are Hammerhorns, King Spider, Beastmaster, more orcs, and Ungoliant's Spawn. Enemy and the values. Again, all these icons, which you see right here, all that stuff right there, all this is explained to you in the rule book, what that all means. Okay, and again, these were all of your enemies. So in this deck I just showed you here, you had enemies. You had treachery, objectives, and locations. And the last deck I have here are your player cards. Again, at the bottom, it'll tell you whether they're an attachment, an ally. So let's start with the attachments. Dwarven Axe, it says item, it's a weapon attached to hero. It's restricted, so it's something that you can pick up and use in terms of battle. Hero gains +1, +2 instead if a hero is a dwarf. Okay. Celadrian's Stone, Steward of Gondor, Forest Snare, Protector of Lorien, Dark Knowledge, Self-Preservation, the Favor of the Lady, Power in the Earth, Unexpected Courage, and we have Gondorian Spearman. Oh, that's, oh, sorry, I jumped ahead. All right, so those cards I just went through, those are attachments. These are things that can help you out. All right. Then the next deck we have here is the Ally deck. Should be all, yep, they are all allies. Do we have any more over here? Nope, those are attachments. These are events. So hold on, I got more attachments. Got more events. Events. Okay. These are all events and those are allies. Okay. So again, some more attachments that we have here. We have the Horn of Gondor, an artifact. The Dwarven Axe. The Blade of Gondolin, it's a weapon. Citadel Plate, which is an armor. And Blade of Gondolin again is a weapon. So those go right in here with your attachments. So those are weapons and things that you can add to your characters to make them stronger. Okay. Ally, which are different people who will come to assist you in your battles. So you have Gondorian Spearman, Veteran Axe Hand, Horseback Archer, Bjorn, Veteran Axe Hand again, Gondorian Spearman again, Horseback Archer, Gandalf, Silverlord Archer, Snowborn Scout, Guard of the Citadel, Son of Arnor, Longbeard Orc Slayer, the Archer again, Snowborn Scout, Faramir, Brooke Iron Fist, Faramir. Okay, we read him, read Gandalf, right? Daughter of the Nimrodel, Eberor the Hammersmith, Hamarth Riversong, again some orcs, some elves and some dwarves we're talking about. Miner of the Iron Hills, Geldwin, Wandering Took, Lorien Guide, the Scout, Northern Tracker. So those are the allies that will help you in your adventure. Excuse me. And last but not least, we have ourselves our event cards. Again, they are different colors, so I'm assuming that they are for different adventures. There's 3 or 4 different adventures in the box itself. So the cards would line up with those certain adventures. So you just have to find out which cards go with which. So that would be explained to you, of course, in the main core rulebook. And here we go. Here again, it's got a 1. It says Quick Strike. And these, again, are events. Down here it says action exhaust a character you control to immediately declare it as an attacker and resolve its attack against any eligible enemy target. And then it has a quote from one of the movies or one of the books. You got Quick Strike, Swift Strike, Blade Mastery, Rain of Arrows, not errors, but Rain of Arrows, Blade Mastery, Stand Together, Thicket of Spears, Quick Strike, Feint, Common Cause, Ever Vigilant, For Gondor, Valiant Sacrifice, Grim Resolve, Sneak Attack, For Gondor, Common Cause, Ever Vigilant, Valiant Sacrifice, Lorton's Wealth, Lore of Emilardus, okay, Lorien's Wealth, it says Radagast's Cunning, Secret Paths, Gandalf's Search, Bjorn's Hospitality, the Galadhrin's Meetings, not sure what that is, Strength of Will, Hasty Stroke, Will of the West, A Test of Will, Stand and Fight, A Light in the Dark, Dwarven Tomb, and the last but not least is Fortune or Fate. And let's read that real quick. It says, action, choose a hero in any player's discard pile. Put that card into play under its owner's control, and that's an event card. So again, in the second deck, which I just showed you, which I put down under player cards, you have your event cards. Again, the beautiful artwork on all of them. Go through them again very quickly, just show you that beautiful artwork. Artwork's really, really stunning in this. Really, really stunning. I'll show you the artwork very quickly. So that's your event deck. And again, you have your allies. I'll show you the artwork again real quick. And last but not least, we have again the attachments, which are the different weapons that can help enhance your characters as they fight their way against orcs and whatever else you may come across in the wilderness and in your battles. So that's your player cards. So everything you see here, all these cards, all the tokens, the rule books, the counters here, are all included, and this concludes our unboxing of, based on the novels of J.R.R. Tolkien, The Lord of the Rings, the card game, Adventure and Peril in Middle-earth for 1 to 2 players, a game by Nate French, brought to you by Fantasy Flight Games, and it's a game that is for ages 14 and up, for 1 to 2 players, and it lasts between 30 to 90 minutes. As always, thank you so much for joining me for this unboxing video. It's truly appreciated. If you enjoyed it, you can always give us a thumbs up and leave a comment below. You can also hit that subscribe button. This way you're kept up to date as to any time we release any new content to the page. As always, thank you so much for joining us. Be safe, be well. Enjoy the remainder of your day, and we'll catch you on the next unboxing video.